was just a great power and spirit in the meeting.
Conference is a time when you get all the information. It's just an enjoyable time.
It is time for a home-centered church.
I loved it. I love the experience coming up to conference.
It's great to get the inspiration. It fuels me, fuels my family.
My heart was just so full.
I love listening to the Word of God every time.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us as we look ahead to the 189th Annual General Conference of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Over the past 12 months, under the leadership of new church president Russell M. Nelson, church members have become accustomed to change, and this weekend is expected to be no different. In fact, one change has already been announced ahead of the first session.
This is an important step forward with the relationship between the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the LGBT community.
Troy Williams of Equality, Utah is grateful to the church for being willing to listen to the concerns of the LGBTQ community.
I'm hopeful that this move today will really help bring families back together.
A statement from the First Presidency posted on the church's website Thursday said that the new policy not only allows children of same-sex couples to be blessed or baptized, but that the church will no longer consider same-sex marriage as apostasy, yet will still consider same-sex marriage a serious transgression.
When we first came into this board, we were so skeptical about it because we were wondering how would they react.
Adam Cash and his husband Taylor have felt welcomed in their ward in Lehigh ever since they married in November. Both were raised in the faith and previously served missions. In January, they were both excommunicated from the church because of their same-sex marriage. However, for them, the church discipline hasn't taken away their interest in raising their foster children in the church.
We recognize there's blessings from living within the church and the gospel, and we honor those values and morals, and we feel like the church teaches those values and morals.
While their foster children were not affected by the previous policy, Adam and Taylor say the timing of the new announcement for them is an answer to prayer.
Yesterday we found out that we have been chosen by birth mom to adopt a baby, and so the first thing I thought this morning was someone can give our baby a blessing. Our baby can grow up in the church. That's what we both grew up in the church, and then that's what we want for our kid.
There was just a great power and spirit.
This policy change joins a long list of adjustments, announcements, and several other firsts that we've seen in the faith since President Nelson was sustained as the 17th president of the church during April conference last year.
From plans to revamp the hymn book to slacks for sister missionaries, revelation, he has said, is coming frequently.
If you think the church has been fully restored, you're just seeing the beginning.
After a 9-day tour to 5 countries in South America, President Russell M. Nelson dedicated the church's 160th temple in Concepcion, Chile. There he addressed a whirlwind year for church members.
We're witnesses to a process of restoration.
In his first year as prophet, President Nelson announced first 7 and then 12 new temples, the most ever announced at once.
Auckland, New Zealand.
The church saw its first Asian American and Latin American members called to the Quorum of the 12. Priesthood leaders were reorganized into strictly elders' quorums. Home and visiting teachers became ministers, and Sunday services were shortened from 3 hours to 2.
It is time for a home-centered church.
Missionaries now receive their calls online. They can call home once a week, and the opportunities for service missions have been expanded.
The Lord said, I will hasten my work in its time. And he makes good on his promises.
A re-emphasis on the full name of the church was announced with a request to drop the LDS and Mormon nicknames. That led to renaming the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, along with multiple church websites.
When we omit his name from his church, we are inadvertently removing him.
The faith's first temple in Rome is now in operation, and for the first time in history, the president of the Church of Jesus Christ met face-to-face with the Pope.
We had a most cordial, unforgettable experience with His Holiness.
Women applauded changes to temple ordinance wording, youth advancement timings have changed, and the church's partnership with the Boy Scouts of America will come to an end this year.
Wait till next year. And then the next year. Eat your vitamin pills. get your rest. It's going to be exciting.
Coming up, from the mountaintops of Carrara, Italy, to North Ogden City Hall, the KSL exclusive stories that will inspire your family this weekend.
Welcome back. All 4 general sessions of General Conference will air right here on KSL, and our team has been working for months to produce powerful programming for church members and friends of other faiths alike, which will air this weekend.
Here's a look at the insightful and inspiring specials we will show you.
7 days after Brent Taylor died, men who knew and loved him,
let's just try to keep it together,
orchestrated a larger-than-life symbol for everything he meant to the community.
Reach!
And it was unbelievable to see it flying just so large in the wind up in that canyon in my home. But to see it fly, it felt like Brent has become larger than life.
A lot of this really hits home. A lot of this I can really relate to in a similar way that I could in the first movie.
This isn't a film necessarily about me or our family so much as it is about people of faith and people who loved and helped and served.
I have to say that one of the great blessings for me was being brought up to speed on the seriousness of this issue.
For suicidality in general, the #1 factor that increases ideation is a sense of belonging. Many experts believe Americans are facing a loneliness epidemic.
It's a problem, not just here, but worldwide. If we don't recognize that it's here, though, we really create a problem in our country.
The first time you realize what you're looking at, it's jaw-dropping. The white on those mountains is marble, the finest in the world. Carrara marble has inspired some of the world's greatest art. Buildings created from the marble date back to ancient Rome. The Pantheon is made of it. Michelangelo chose it to create the Pietà. And from the same marble, the statue of David. And now Christ and the 12 apostles stand at the entrance to the Rome, Italy Visitors Center, made of that same marble. Whether it's family, flexibility, fear, or other concerns holding them back, there's a critical need in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And we're always looking for wonderful senior couples who will go.
I grew up in the Amish community. Lived there for 35 years before I became a member of the church.
We were members for 8 months before the Amish community knew.
As I look back over the past 7 years, all the miracles that happened, and the life-changing events, the knowledge I have today about the gospel and what I had then, it's like night and day.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. We will see you right back here tomorrow and also on Sunday.
KSL's General Conference programming begins Saturday at 9:30 with a special edition of History of the Saints.